Hey team, this is going to be a quick crash course in job management, how we're going to control the flow. Um, we do already have reports and tools set up to do everything, so we'll just go through what each one is. So Joel Ship Daily, for that we'll just use shipment entry, which you're all pretty used to doing, but we will go through it again. Operations close daily, we can do that through Job Explorer quite easily. Labour hours on budget, for that we'll use estimated versus actual. And for the DIFOT, they do have a report set up, but I will rename it just DIFOT for you so it's easy to find. They will all be in the same place, which we will go through now. Alright, so you're pretty used to seeing this front page. Some of you have it a little bit different. But I will be adding a folder called Team Leader Management, and in that folder you'll be able to find the four main things that you need to control this job flow. So we'll go through each one, how it works and how to print. Alright, so first up is shipment entry. So you'll be able to find it in your Team Leader Management folder, and quite often you'll find it on that side as well, due to it being one of the main things. So you just hit that button, let it load up. So from here, to make a new packing slip or a new shipment, we'll hit next ID. So that gives you a packing slip number. That's not the job number, just the packing slip number. You need to put your job number in here. That one will do. If you hit enter twice, when it loads, there we go. And it should give you where the customer, if you open that up, it'll give you all the address information that you need. From there, you can put in a tracking number if you need it. If it's got a courier number, you can type that in. Quite often we just put GL for Green Mountain Speeds Limited. Any shipping comments you need to do, now's a good time. There might be leaving garage. I'm just going to type back at house, but it could be leaving garage. But that should be on the sales order anyway. But if there is any additional shipping comments, now's a good time to put it in. Quite often you're going to have to type in the quantity shipped, especially if there's multiple lines, and hit if the delivery quantity and the open quantity are the same, so like you've sent it all, then you'll tick that button as well for shipment complete. If it's the whole job getting shipped, you would hit mark all, and it'll add every one of these lines and it'll tick every box. From there you would hit save at the top right and then print. So with print, if you just tap on that, it'll go to the first computer. It won't even ask any other questions. So whatever printer you have set up automatically, it'll go to that. If you come back, there we go, off to the printer. If you tap down, so that's a packing slip. If you want to choose a different printer, you can push the down arrow there, choose your printer out. And if you want to use a packing label, same thing, just hit the down arrow and choose your printer. So that's all done. Just exit from that, and that part is good to go. Alright, for our next part, we want to close the job or the operation. So for closing the job, which is the best way, that'll close all the operations at once. We'll go to Job Explorer, just click on that, and that'll bring it up to this next page. Okay, from there, there's filters you can put in. We'll just drag that along a bit so you can see a bit more. Filters you can put in, so say you just want to look at jobs from last week, Monday through to Sunday, Saturday, that'll do. If there's a particular job ID you want to send off, you would just type that in there. And if there's a particular customer, say you want to do a bulk lot of Kitchen Studio at once, you just type in the customer ID there. So from here, this page I use quite a lot, putting in the planner, production notes. If you need to add production notes, you can hit that button there, and then you can free type in there pretty much, and then just hit that update button. If you scroll across, you'll get to all of these numbers and tick boxes. So pretty much, to close a job, which will close all operations, you just hit that production complete button. So now no one can clock into the job. It tells staff further up the line that the job is out the door and we can bill them. Just check that the quantity complete comes up the same as the quantity shipped. And if the job is completely delivered and to the customer, hit that dispatch complete button. So you could go through and just tick away if that and that match. And then you could come through and just add in the quantities. And of course, is it left the factory? Yes, it has, because we know Kitchen Studio goes basically daily. Yeah, that's it for closing the jobs daily. Next up, we check if our hours were on budget. For that, we would use the report estimated versus actual. So if we just load that up, and that'll bring us to this grid. So this grid shows a lot of information. It's pretty much the past half a year of all jobs and all processes for those jobs. So you can probably see 105,000 processes. So we can filter that down quite a lot. So let's say we look at last week again, Monday through to Saturday. So that looks at when the job was due. So we're down to 2,000 operations. Let's use Kitchen Studio as an example again. So all the processes for Kitchen Studio is down to 500 operations, which is still quite a lot. From there, we can type in a particular job ID if we really want to be specific. Makes more sense on projects. And that will show just that one job number, the nesting, cutting, assembly, edging, baz, pack, and the hours against each one. So that'll show you how long it took and what we actually budget for. So overall for that job, we are doing pretty good. It would have just been a little rework. So if we just back out of the job ID, I need to load up. So on the side here, you can check the operation. So if we just wanted to look at packing, you could see how long it actually took in total at the bottom, and how much we've actually budgeted for at the very bottom there. We can do the same edging, check how on point it was. And nesting would be the other big one for that. The nesting's pretty on point too. If you need to print it, same as always, this little paper with a magnifying glass on it is just a preview. Untick any of the boxes that you don't need, and tick the ones that you do need. I'll just bring that across a little bit. It's halfway off the page. If it's too much information on a page, it might be worth going to A3 and just hit preview. Hit preview every time just to see how many pages it takes up and how much of that page. So that's the whole A3 page right there. And that'll just give the nesting, kitchen studio, grand totals. From there you can just hit print. But we don't want to print that today. And then finally, we will check our DIFOT report. So the DIFOT report will show us what orders went out on time. We are aiming for 90%. So far this year, we've been pretty average, down in the 70%. So for this little report, skip the ship date, go for the delivery date. So we want to see when it was actually sent out. Again, we'll look at last week. We'll go to Sunday this time, just in case something happened on Saturday and Sunday. So we'll just use Kitchen Studio as an example. You do have to type in the full customer code for this, unfortunately. From there, if you really want to, you could type in the order ID, which makes more sense for those larger projects. You can group by the customer, parts, order, ship date, whatever you need to do. And there is a difference between the summary on and off, so we'll just take a quick look at with the summary on. Yep, so it just gives you a real broad 64% on time. We are aiming for 90%. Shows you 47 were on time, 26 were late. So overall, that's 64. Average number of days late is 3, which is not good at all. And then down the bottom, it doesn't show you any other information down the bottom. So that's with summary on. If you untick that, it'll show you each job line, each job number. So yeah, especially job lines, when the delivery date was meant to be, and when it actually went out. So there's a few here that were early. Down to there pretty much. These ones have yet to be shipped. As you can see, they have no ship date yet. So we're working through those, trying to get those out the door. A special, 2 small orders, and a rework, which all of them might have been caught up with each tape issues. And see how much extra information goes into it without that summary box ticked. So three big pages instead of that one little page. Yeah, so our DIFOT for last week was 64% on time. I'm sure there is a way to get the reworks out of there, but until we do, they're part of our DIFOT. So that's about it for the job management. If we keep on top of all 4 of those things, all the information will be a lot smoother, and we won't be chasing ghost jobs around the factory.